guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be a little bit loaded and it's going to be an intense story time. I've been like contemplating for quite some time now if I want to tell this story or not, if I want to expose this store or not. After the first time I had mentioned this and the I got clocked video, and since it has happened again and things really haven't gotten resolved, so truly I felt like it was necessary to speak out about this. So let's just get right into it. So I had gone to the dollar store a few months ago around Christmas time, and I had gone in and there's a lady that works there that I had never really seen before. I was on my break at work, and yes, this was the Dollar Tree. Just gotta like fucking specify that for you guys. And I went in to get my stuff and I went to go pay, and I was paying with my card. And I guess when you pay with your card on the Dollar Tree system, on the screen, it shows up with the name of the card. It says my legal name on it. Fucking A, I don't want to say my fucking legal name. Okay. So then she goes, "Joseph, would you like the receipt in the bag?" And to me, she was like being kind of nice throughout the whole transaction. So I was kind of taken back by that, and I didn't really know how to respond to that. I was so taken off guard because that hasn't happened in such a long time. So when she said that, I was just like, no, like I don't need the receipt. And then as I was leaving, she proceeds to yell, literally yell as I'm walking away, "Have a good day, Joseph." And there were like people behind me, there were people walking in, and there was people like shopping the store. So I was like super embarrassed because she was yelling that at me as I was literally walking away, as other people were like watching me. It was super embarrassing. And I didn't say anything because I was so caught off guard. I just didn't even know how to respond. And as I walked out of the store, I literally started like laughing. So then I went back into my store and I was talking to the people in the back room, and my general manager at the time got very, very heated about this and got very upset. So she proceeded to take my card, go to the dollar store and use it. And basically when she used it, she was like, "Oh, like, do you want to say my name? Like, do you want to talk about my name? Like, do you want to call me by my name?" And the lady like didn't really say anything. And then she called the manager over, and basically my general manager was like, "Don't you ever do that again. Don't you ever speak to my employees that way. Don't you ever make them feel uncomfortable. X, Y, and Z." And was really laying it in and like making it known that that was super inappropriate, that she was definitely being, in my words, I would definitely say that she's being transphobic. Obviously you can look at me and know the way that I present. I was wearing a dress with stockings. You know what I mean? Like, I look the way I do. Like, don't call me Joseph, like, when obviously that's not it. And also I'm wearing a name tag that says JoJo. So like, why are you doing that? I feel like that's just so blatantly disrespectful. So she made a big point about it and made it known to them that that's unacceptable and to never do it again. So then fast forward to about like 2 weeks ago, I had gone back into this location. I had seen this woman a handful of times since this incident, and everything was fine. That we didn't really speak to each other. Like, little words were said. It was like, "Have a good day. Okay, you too," whatever. That was it. In particular, this day I walked in, I saw her, my stomach kind of like turned a little bit. She's always made me feel very uncomfortable since that incident. So I walk in, I like love these pickles. Like, this is kind of a crucial part of the story. So I was getting the pickles, I was getting water, whatever. I was waiting in line. The girl in front of me was short and blonde, okay? Now this lady that was working the register was being so nice to her. Also kind of bizarre, me and the girl were wearing the exact same hairstyle that day. Like a low slicked back bun. And she was being so nice to her. And then was just kind of like glaring at me. And I was like, what the heck? So then I go up, I'm just like, "Hey." She's like, "Hi." That's it. She goes, "Oh, Joseph, you really like your pickles, don't you?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh, like, I see you really like these pickles. Like, are these for you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I still didn't say anything because she caught me off guard once again. Because what had happened was that she said it months ago, let it go for months, and then decides to re-say it out of the blue and catches me off guard. And I don't deal with these things much anymore. And I've always had the mentality of just like let it go, just like let it slide, like don't make a big deal, like don't make it a huge thing, because I feel like it's much more embarrassing when you make a scene about it. So I was like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Oh, okay, did you find everything you need, Joseph?" And I was like, and I just kind of like looked at her, and then she's like, "Are you paying with a card today, Joseph?" And I was like, "What?" Like, it just like she kept saying it, and I was like, "Oh, do you want the receipt in the bag, Joseph?" And there was like people in line behind me, and she did this again, and I just like didn't know how to respond to it. And I'm really frustrated that I didn't have a better response to it. And it just like really caught me off guard, and it was very, very frustrating, and it definitely got to me really hard this time because she had been spoken to. She had been spoken to by my management. She had been spoken to by her management with her management. So I feel like to do it again and know that it's inappropriate, and specifically to target me once again after being spoken to about it, I think clearly shows her intentions. And in my opinion, that is definitely a transphobic thing to do. And also in my opinion, I think that it's definitely a hate crime, because why are you going to do that? Like, you know that that's not the name I go by. You've been spoken to saying that that's inappropriate. You know, and you are aware that that's socially unacceptable, and you continue to do it while you're in the place of work. It's one thing if you make a mistake. It's one thing if you do it once and you think that it's funny. It's still not okay, but you got spoken to about it. So to do it again is absolutely unacceptable. So as I leave, she once again yells, "Bye, Joseph, have a good day." So I walk out. This time I wasn't laughing when I left. This time I was like honestly very shaken up. Like, I was kind of like trembling a little bit. I felt very like nervous. My stomach was turning because this time I felt very like victimized, because the first time I was caught off guard. The first time I wasn't expecting it. The first time it was like, okay, maybe she just like did it by accident. I don't know. This time it was blatant. This time she knew, and she was doing it on purpose to hurt me. She was doing it on purpose to come at me for being transgender. So I left. I went back to the back room at my store, and I was kind of talking about it again. I decided I was going to call the store and speak directly to the management. So I called the store and I asked to speak to a manager. They respond with, "Sorry, we don't have a manager right now." What? Like, you don't have a manager? I'm confused. They're like, "Sorry, we don't have a store manager. What do you want to do? Like, what's your question?" Like, they were being very rude on the phone, and I was like, "Hey, like, I just have like kind of like a complaint about an employee, and I was just wondering like if I can get their name and your store number, just because I would really like to call corporate to like talk about it directly. I've tried to solve this at a store level, and it clearly isn't working. So I would really love if I could just get that information." The lady goes, "I'm sorry, I'm not giving you our employees' names. It's against policy." And I was like, "Okay, so like, how do I figure out her name? Like, do I have to come back and like look at her name tag?" She's like, "No, it should be at the bottom of your receipt." I was like, "Well, I didn't keep my receipt." She's like, "Sorry, I'm not giving it to you over the phone." I was like, "Okay, so you're saying like I have to come in and look at her name tag?" She's like, "No, it could just be on the bottom of your receipt." I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Can I at least get your store number?" "Nope, sorry, I'm not giving that out to you. It's on the receipt too." I was like, "Ma'am, I just told you I don't have my receipt." She's like, "Sorry, don't know what to tell you." And I was like, "Okay, so you're telling me I have to come in and purchase something in order to get this information?" And she was like, "No, you can just come in and ask for a receipt." I was like, "What? You want me to come in, stand in line, and just ask for a receipt?" She's like, "Yep, you could just do that." I was like, "Okay, thank you so much for not helping." So she was being super rude on the phone. So I wasn't going back in because I didn't want to make myself an even larger target by going in and just asking for a receipt. So I had a coworker go in, just buy something, whatever. And I had her look. This lady that was running register didn't call the people in front of her by their name. She didn't call my coworker by her name. She wasn't referring anyone by their name. And when I had gone in 20 minutes prior, she didn't refer to the girl in front of me by her name either. So that's another thing that she's doing just to specifically target me. So she goes in and gets a receipt. I get this girl's name and I get the store number. So then I proceed to call the Dollar Tree corporate line. I'm on the corporate line. It's like a whole fucking thing where they're like, "Press 1 for this and press 2 for this and press 4 for this." I was like, okay, Jesus Christ, it's an automated thing. Like, I don't want to have to do this. So then it's like, okay, press 5 for complaints and comments. So I was like, okay, perfect. I press 5 and it ends up being an automated thing. You literally leave a voicemail on this automated system in hopes that someone is going to get back to you. Can we all take a guess? Did I get a call back? If you didn't know, the answer is no. I am just at this point felt very defeated by everything because I felt like I tried at a store level, nothing worked. I am very targeted by this girl. I feel like as a whole, this store isn't taking this seriously. It is a hate crime, and she's acting in a transphobic manner by targeting me in many different ways. By using my prior name that she knows is inappropriate and has been spoken about previously, and by not referring to anyone else by their name. So it's not even like a courtesy thing or a friendly thing that they're supposed to do. And even if it was a dollar store mandatory thing to call people by their names, she's been spoken to and knows it's inappropriate to do that for me. And each time I wear a name tag with my name that says JoJo on it. So really at this point, there's no excuse for her actions. There's no excuse for the management actions. And there's no excuse for Dollar Tree as a whole, because I tried to go to corporate and nip this problem in the butt and it went nowhere. I really wanted to stay quiet about it because I feel like I didn't want to make a bigger deal about it. But like, I shouldn't feel nervous, I shouldn't feel anxious, and I shouldn't feel scared to go into a store because I'm transgender. Like, that makes no sense. Like we have come so far that this middle-aged woman should have that type of hold on me. And I don't think it's necessary for me to make a scene in the middle of the dollar store because she's being disrespectful when she's already been spoken to. I'm not going to make a scene like that bitch in Gamestop. If you think that's me, you got the wrong bitch. Okay, that's not me. And if you don't know the video I'm talking about, I will link it down below because I'm not going to do that. I think that represents trans women in such a negative light. I just didn't really know what to do, and I was really going to keep quiet about it, but I kind of want to share my story and share my experiences. One, I want to share it for other trans girls out there, and if you've experienced this, know, one, that you're not alone. Two, I just feel like even if it's only 500 people that see this video, even if it's only 400 people that see this video, if it's 600 people, however many people see this video, at least those 600 people know my experience with the Dollar Tree. And for me, I can feel as if I'm holding the Dollar Tree accountable for their lack of action based on this situation. She still works there. She's still employed. And I have seen her since, and she just gives me dirty looks, doesn't speak to me, and is just disrespectful. I'm literally just waiting on the time where she decides to call me Joseph again. I just kind of feel very defeated by the situation, and I just kind of wanted to share my experience. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit more of like a serious tone video. I hope if anything has helped some of you or at least shed light on stuff. But okay guys, I love you the most, and yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.